Hello. This is my first live stream, so I'm waiting on, hopefully we've got our Amazon Live people connecting for now. But I guess for now, I'm going to start. Oh, here we go. We're going live. Awesome. So my name is Katie. I'm one of the Cookbook Divas. Usually you see Carrie's face, but I'm here by myself because I'm kind of the gluten-free queen. Hello, Amazon Live people. My face is going to be turning in every which way just because I've got cameras all over the place. So I wanted to do a gluten-free, exclusive gluten-free pantry list because I know for me, when I started gluten-free eating, it was super hard for me to kind of get everything in order. Bread, there's breadings, there's different flours, there's so much to navigate, noodles. So I wanted to kind of show you guys what I have in my pantry because I just think it's really important. And there's so many awesome things out there that maybe I know that I didn't know about until way later. So I'm really excited to kind of show you. The first thing that I wanted to show you guys is actually, it's a gluten-free panko. So I've been using this gluten-free panko for years now, and it hasn't done me wrong. Kikkoman has a whole slew of different gluten-free items, and I will post on the banner on our carousel. I also have a gluten-free Kikkoman tamari sauce that I use too in substitute for the regular soy sauce that usually people have. So this is really awesome. I use it. I mean, you can put it for your chicken parmesan. You can use it for actual panko itself. For I'm losing my memory right now, but there's all kinds of things you can use this for. Anything you need to bread, this is awesome. The texture is great too. So this, and they even have here on the back recipes that you could potentially use with this awesome, panko. So that's one of the things that I didn't know about for a really long time when I was going gluten-free. And I know a lot of people, you can find this on the store, like at a regular grocery store, but you can find this on Amazon for fairly cheap and you can get big boxes. So if this is something that you use or want to use more of, you can definitely get a whole box on Amazon. It's really awesome. Hello, everybody who has joined. Let me know where you guys are from. Say hello in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. I'm assuming you're here because you're gluten-free, so let me know your gluten-free experiences. I know everybody is totally different, and mine's a very unique experience. And if you want, I can share that with you, but I'm just going to go through my items before I do that. So you have to ask. All right, so moving on, I love panko. I can literally talk about this all day. So the next thing I wanted to bring up, I don't know if I brought, oh, I did. Okay, so this was actually very new to me. So I loved brownies when I was able to eat gluten in general, and it was super sad when I wasn't even able to eat brownies in general, especially just mixing something up really fast. It's like a Friday night and you're like, I just want brownies. So I'm super glad that Carrie actually pointed out these Stonewall Kitchen brownies. These are gourmet brownies. So I usually will make mine from scratch, and that can be a lot of work. I love that we have just a pre-made brownie mix here. It's super easy and handy, and I highly recommend it. It's very tasty. You only need, here's the reason why it's tasty. It requires 7 tablespoons of unsalted butter. So of course it's super tasty. But it also requires 2 eggs, and that's it. And then you bake. I can't believe it. So it's really awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I don't always have time to kind of throw a brownie mix together. It can be really complicated, to be honest. So I love this. It's a great option, and you can frost it. You can do all kinds of stuff. So that is one item that I wanted to showcase because it's totally new to me. I had no idea. I've been gluten-free for, easily over a decade, and I'm glad that people are kind of catching on that we need more awesome gluten-free products, to be perfectly honest. So that's one of my other items for like fast, fixings that maybe you might want in your pantry, just something that you can pull and call it a day. So there's another one too by Stonewall Kitchen that I thought was really cool. And that's the pancake and waffle mix. So this is a really cool option. I have not tried it yet. I've tried so many different kinds of mixes and they all have varying results. Namaste is a brand that I usually go to, but it can be like really spongy and squishy and maybe not the best. And then Red Mill, Bob's Red Mill is another good option, but again, it still has kind of that, I don't know, spongy texture. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm looking forward to trying this. I know Stonewall Kitchen is just, it's all very gourmet. So I'm hoping that they got the recipe down and I'll be able to try this. So this is something I'm going to actually try this weekend. I don't know. Have you guys had any of Stonewall Kitchen's their pancake or waffle mix? I'd love to hear you guys, talk about that. So that's two things from Stonewall Kitchen that I have. But in the carousel down below, I talked about, because I was talking about Panko earlier today. We also have Kikkoman, and I don't have it now because it's in my refrigerator. I have the massive Kikkoman gluten-free soy sauce, and it's identical. You can't tell the difference. And a lot of people, when I tell them that soy sauce is gluten-free or is not gluten-free, they kind of panic. I don't know if that's something you guys have experienced before, but that was a new thing for me when I first started going gluten-free. I loved, going to sushi places all the time. And then I realized, oh my God, soy sauce has gluten in it. That's why I feel so crappy all the time. So I quickly had to find good soy sauce, and Kikkoman saved the day for me. I love Kikkoman. So that's only down in the carousel. Oh, hello. It's Carrie, a gluten-free party. Yes, it is a gluten-free party here. So yes, down in our carousel on Amazon Live, we have the Kikkoman option. They have a whole bunch of other stuff too. And if that's a brand that you're not too fond of, they do have other gluten-free soy sauce options plus tamari over on Amazon. It's really nice. So as somebody that does a lot of gluten-free stuff, I've been somebody that needs to, Carrie's saying, and your mom and I are going to be eating Easter candy on camera later. She just doesn't know it yet. Yes, I'm sure my mom is a nervous wreck right now. So it's probably going to be hilarious to watch her eating candy today. She'll already be like hyped up and now it's going to be amplified. Yes. So that is a huge jug of Kikkoman, but yeah, I actually do go through it really fast. Not quite a month, but it's probably like every three months. Yeah, I would say. And I get a huge jug. They have tiny bottles as well of the Kikkoman gluten-free. What I recommend is getting one of those bottles and then just filling it up over time with the big jug, obviously, so you can keep reusing the glass. It's still kind of wasteful, I guess, but it's better than like buying all the small glasses each and every single time. So what I was going to talk about too was my cooking experiences. So speaking of baking, I've noticed that I was like getting a lot of recipes online, and they're very hit and miss for the most part, and especially baking. So a lot of things can be like really spongy, or it's like super crumbly and dry, and you just like never get that perfect mix of moist and dry with gluten-free sometimes. So some of the things that I found is actually using cookbooks. It's been a lifesaver for me because, I mean, eating those spongy desserts are just kind of, I don't know, it's not the best. And if you're serving it to multiple people that aren't gluten-free, you kind of want to hide it. And they don't know. So this has been an awesome cookbook that I've been recently trying. It's, excuse my French, literally, it's really bad. It's Cannelle et Vanille. Carrie's gonna make fun of me. So this is by Aran Goyaga, and it's been amazing. My husband actually made her awesome Let me find it. It's her lemon curd honey celebration cake. So he made this for me on my birthday. He's super sweet. And it was phenomenal. It had the right crumble. It had it was moist, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't held together just by frosting. There was a lot of legit cake things going on. So Carrie was saying, I know you served us an amazing pumpkin pie once with a gluten-free crust. Yes, I love baking pies. And I actually have the cookbook for one of the pies that I made here today. And I think I need to think of a new adjective, though, and not say amazing twice. I say amazing all the time. Everything's amazing. So the celebration cake was really awesome. But a few things in this cookbook that I appreciate, it's strictly baking. And they talk about making perfect bread. I mean, this looks perfect. I haven't done it yet, and I really want to. I'm just kind of scared to make bread. But it looks just so awesome. And so far, her recipes have been very, very reliable. And I can't even tell. It brings me back to the days where I was able to eat gluten, So it's really good. She has a lot of her recipes are a little high end, I have to say. That's why I haven't really dove into this cookbook as much as I'd like to, but I like it. It's really nice to have on hand, especially if I'm trying to make my own flour blends. That's another thing. But the photos are beautiful. I highly recommend it. It's so cool. So yeah, I wanted to just share this cookbook briefly with you, because because that birthday celebration cake is something I dream about all the time, and I want it again, but it was so involved. He took 2 days to make it. I mean, there's curd and meringue frosting. It was an ordeal. But anyway, this is Canil et Vanille Bake Simple by Iran Goyaga. This is a great cookbook to have on hand if you're a baker, especially if you're an experienced gluten-free baker. So the other cookbook I want to talk about is one that I actually use a lot. And I don't think it's as well known as I want it to be. It's not super popular or famous, but seriously, it's the best. It's the best. So this is oh, Carrie says that's really romantic that he did that for you. It was cute. I always wanted a cake that was 3-tiered. I was going to make it myself cuz I love baking, but he wanted to do it for me, so I let him, and it was very cute. So, the other book, and I actually made my husband's cake from this cookbook because I love it so much. It is called The Flour Craft Bakery and Cafe Cookbook. So, I believe Flour Craft is a bakery from California. And seriously, this is the best combination of flavors and textures. It's really awesome. So this is by Heather Hardcastle, and I'll go through more of this one. So we have here, there's tea time loaves, morning baked goods. She goes to artisan bakes, cookies, bars, casual cakes, multi-layer cakes, pies and tarts, brunch fare, specialty breads and pizzas. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I'm going to point out the things that I've actually made. I really want to make this one day. This is a pistachio pound cake, which sounds so good, and it's so pretty. So we also have here the raspberry and almond scones. These are really easy. A lot of these recipes are really easy to kind of whip up, and I was surprised, even though it uses a lot of specialty flours. So it requires you to actually use tapioca flour, potato starch, all of those things. And here's the precise amounts for those things. And I actually find that cooking that way and baking that way is better than just getting an all-purpose blend flour. because you just don't know what the blend of flour has in it and the ratios. So, and it seems intimidating to have like a million different flours on you. I get it, but it's actually worth it. So, here's some other stuff. I had no idea that savory waffles were a thing until I opened this cookbook, but it looks really awesome. I love it. So, we also have, here's something that I actually did make. Oh, there's no photo. I thought there was. Okay, so I made these ginger molasses whoopie pies because the ginger molasses cookie part actually goes into a pumpkin square. And excuse me, I think allergies are catching up to me now. So I actually made these. These are pumpkin cheesecake squares, which I made. You can kind of see the dark chocolatey base there. So I made the whoopie pie base and then added it to here for the pumpkin cheesecake. And it was so good, like dangerously good. And it was so easy, especially if you have a blender. Oh my God. It was so easy. So I totally recommend this cookbook. It's amazing. The actual cake that I made my husband was a chocolate orange layer cake, and I had a lot of people tell me that was the best cake that they've ever had. And these are like gluten eating people. So I was like, well, that's awesome. So this is a really awesome cookbook. I highly recommend it. If you're a baker, this is just so awesome. So it's the Flourcraft Bakery and Cafe Cookbook. This is by Heather Castle. You can find it in our carousel down below. So let's see what else I have on this list here. Oh my God. Okay. So it's hard to see. You can see it on the carousel, but I wanted to mention it. Here we check out our Cookbook Gourmet Foods, Toys, and Home Decor over on Cookbook Divas Shop. Yeah, you can find all kinds of stuff over there. And make sure to shop for us on Amazon Live right here. So one thing I wanted to talk about was Franz. Franz has its own gluten-free bread. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I really like it. It's my favorite kind of bread. There's so many different gluten-free breads out there you can buy. I kind of like the texture and the everything of this one the best. The only problem is that it's so tiny. I'm not going to take it out just because it's a little crazy, but the bread is probably like pretty small, but that's okay. It's still really good. You don't need a massive piece of bread. But I like the texture. The flavor is great. It doesn't have like that cardboard thing going on. It's perfect. And it grills properly. I don't know if that's something that is recognizable to any of you guys, but like some of the breads I feel like take forever to actually like roast and grill. This one feels normal. I don't know if that makes sense. So I really like Franz. Here, Carrie says that her friend Angie eats that bread and complains it's small. It is really small. She has to bring 2 sandwiches to work instead of 1. I've actually done that. Yeah, no, it is fairly small. I like it. The size is like the worst part, but the flavor is where it's at for me, because a lot of the gluten-free bread out there is just, it's not my favorite. So this one's my favorite. I highly recommend it. Another thing I've been kind of, let's see. It's a weird picture in the carousel, so I'm actually going to show it to you. It's a huge bag. So this is 1 Degree Organic Foods. It's their sprouted rolled oats. So I didn't know that oats were kind of naturally gluten-free, but you want to be careful. It's huge. Let's see how big it actually is. It's 5 pounds. So big. It's huge. I actually got this from Costco, but it's on Amazon too, and it's a great price. And I've been kind of getting into the overnight oats just because it's super quick to whip up together. You just throw cold water, not cold water, like a cold milk base, whatever you want, milk or plant-based, your rolled oats, and then you can kind of put whatever ingredients you want in there, like a strawberry jam. You could put chocolate in there, different kinds of nuts. You can put like a lot of people put hemp seeds in there. I mean, there's so many things you can do with rolled oats, especially overnight rolled oats. And so to be honest, the flavor of these, this is why I use these oats for overnight oats, mostly because, currants is a good idea, and figs. Yeah, a lot of the you could do dried fruits, which is great. And I know you can find a bunch of those on Amazon as well. And I've heard they have like dried dragon fruit too, which is crazy. And dried bananas, dried plantains, dried coconuts. I could go on. But I personally don't like, so I like plain oatmeal with like a little butter and sugar. But I don't use this brand necessarily. I have a different brand I use for that. This brand has a bit of I don't know, it's definitely more natural tasting. It's earthy. And it doesn't really go well by itself or really basic. So I like using this for overnight oats just because you can add so many different flavors in there and amplify or hide, I guess, these oat flavors. So that's just something that's really honest of me. But I like how thick these ones are too. So when you do overnight oats, they amplify and get really big, and they've got really great texture. So I like these ones. Check that out. This is really tasty, and you can get a whole bunch. You can add this to smoothies. I do that too. You have, for a little extra carb. It's really helpful and really healthy. So check this out. But I also use for regular oatmeal. So Bob's Red Mill has been a lifesaver in general. They make some of the best gluten-free products, I would say overall, like just in general. And you can find it everywhere. But these guys have like really awesome flavors. Carrie says she likes Bob's Red Mill products too. Yeah, these are my favorite. This is perfect because it's really basic. There's not this overwhelming earthy flavor. It's just oatmeal. It's just oatmeal. And these ones are a little smaller as well compared to the one previously. So it doesn't have it's a great, fall and winter comfort food kind of option. So that's why I like going to these for just plain oatmeal dishes. But again, these are great for baking. You can use it for cookies. You can do all kinds of stuff. A thickener. There's a lot of times where baked gluten-free goods require ground up oats essentially. So you just stick some of this in a blender and you've got a powder, and it's a great baking tool. It's it's just really awesome. Super helpful. These are also quick cooking, so it takes no time at all. Let's see. It says it's like a microwave. You microwave for 2 minutes and let it sit for 2 minutes, and you call it a day. It's pretty awesome. So that's something I wanted to talk about. Another thing, because I'm kind of a nerd, and I was going to do a whole thing about this, but I forgot. I forgot what I was doing in my list. So curries. I think curries are kind of amazing. And for gluten-free cooking, especially, it adds a lot of flavor to everything. You can have it in rice, like fried rice, or just regular white rice. You can spice it up. You can make, obviously your regular curry. I think that this brand, it's Mayploy, is the best. It really is. Carrie says, I adore curries. Delicious stuff dumped on rice. Works for me every time. Yeah, it's true. It really is perfect. Mayploy is my favorite as far as the flavor goes and how easy it is to kind of, I don't know, maneuver and use. And yeah, it doesn't have like that tinny taste or preserve. I don't know if there's a preserved taste. but they have different flavors and different sizes. So I only put up one size on our carousel, and that's kind of the bigger size. I'm obsessed with curry, so I usually have a whole bunch of these lying around, but they do have little small canned ones too. So that includes like green, yellow, and then I think I have a Penang too here. No, I brought a Masaman still. But I really like these. I think they're great, and they're gluten-free also. And I think a lot of people don't realize that because they're so, like when you open it inside, it's like really thick, so it feels like a thickener. But these are all gluten-free. You can literally throw this in some coconut milk, let it cook for a little bit, add vegetables and meat or whatever you want, and put it over rice. It's super easy and it's perfect. It's such a great quick meal, and I don't have the energy sometimes to make my own because we all work and we all do things. So it's just, yeah. Anyway, so I wanted to bring that up because Amazon has a really awesome price for those, and I cook with it all the time. So we also have here, I wanted to mention, because kind of the biggest thing for gluten-free cooking is flour. So I have experimented with so many different flour blends, and I had a really bad experience with, I'm not going to name who it is, but I had a lot of almond flour, and I could just tell. And I was trying to bake cookies, regular chocolate chip cookies. It was, nothing special. And the cookie like collapsed and spread everywhere. And it's because it just wasn't holding. It wasn't the right kind of flour for what I was doing. So I know there's a lot of cookbooks even out there that talk about how, oh, you can use whatever flour, whatever all-purpose flour. That's not always the case. So the one that I find the most reliable is actually Bob's Red Mill. Again, that's also down in our carousel. So they really do have the best texture. It holds well. It's super important for baked goods, obviously, and thickeners. So like, if you're making a roux in anything and you have a really, I don't know, just a flour blend that's not sticking together, it can be frustrating. I've had many experiences like that. But Bob's Red Mill has been really reliable. It's really awesome. And the price too on Amazon is pretty great. I love it. So I wanted to just mention that because I know there's plenty of people that there's just so many out there and it's hard to pick. One of my old go-to flours was it was called Namaste, and it's pretty good. It just is kind of gummy. And also something to consider too is the xanthine gum addition. So this flour does have xanthine gum, I believe. Oh my god, it doesn't. Maybe that's why I like it so much. So xanthine gum is like one of those things that sticks everything together, and for some things it's great, like you need that, but some flours it's terrible, and that's why you get that really gummy, gross texture at the end of your bakes, is because usually it's got too much xanthine gum or it didn't need it at all. So that's something to keep in mind about, but this one apparently doesn't have it. Maybe that's why I like it so much. So this is Bob's Red Mill gluten-free flour. Sorry, that was probably really loud. Okay. I like to have sweets on me at all times because I have a problem. I'm not going to lie. So these are my favorites. I got a 12 pack of these and they're like unbelievable. So these are Wow. The brand is called Wow. And I actually got them at a Whole Foods store originally. And I did get the lemon burst ones. They come in different sizes. These are like a big cookie. This one is, oh, hello, Woodville Wine Blog from Seattle. So these cookies are big cookies. They have small ones over on Amazon also. But the lemon burst cookies were one of the first ones I tried, and holy cow. Like, these are the best cookies I think I've actually ever had. even in my gluten-filled life. This is just packed with flavor. It's so good. And it's huge. Here, I'll open it. I had a little cookie today, so I feel a little guilty about it, but whatever. It's fine. So seriously, this cookie is massive. So here's the front, regular cookie, but like it is thick. It is so thick. I mean, you could probably split it in half and be fine. But again, like the flavor, it just bursts with lemon. They're not kidding when they call it a lemon burst. And it's just, the texture is so moist. It's just, it's perfect. I can literally rave about this cookie all day. Apparently it contains egg and milk, so if you're dairy free, probably not the best idea. But I like having those around, especially for like parties and whatnot. It's really, really nice to just have things where you can pull it out and guests are going to really like it. I know a lot of people will make gluten-free items and then they'll make regular people items, and I'm not that team. I make everything gluten-free and it's going to be good. That's just who I am. And I haven't had anybody complain about the gluten-free anything. I usually don't even bring it up that it's gluten-free. And I think the only time it would be an issue is if you had a nut allergy. But I kind of like, it's so much work to separate the two. So I want to make sure I get good products that are just gluten-free that everybody's going to enjoy, and they're not going to stigmatize like gluten-free cooking essentially. So that was my soapbox. There you go. Here's the next thing I want to talk about, which is a new thing that I found. It's rice ramen noodles. And this is made with millet and brown rice. And this is by Lotus Foods. So for a really long time, anytime I was trying to do like noodle dishes, especially, so there's a lot of Chinese dishes and some Japanese dishes that they utilize more like the buckwheat noodles. And they're different. They're not rice noodles essentially. So it was kind of, I don't know, it felt different, and it wasn't like in a good way. I mean, you can make it good, but it just didn't have the same awesomeness that it usually does, especially ramen. So when I found this, I was super excited to try it, and it is amazing. I could not tell that this is not like regular ramen noodles. It maintains its shape. So like a lot of rice noodles, they tend to just kind of stay straight and slimy. I don't know. And then these, they have like that awesome texture. And even when you heat it up and you put it in ramen, it maintains the same texture. You can't tell the difference. So I love it because I love ramen, and this has just been a really cool addition, and I feel like it's kind of new. So that's something that I was really excited to show you guys. And I kind of want to try this for things like, yakisoba or any soba. That chow mein would be a good option just because it's kind of, I don't know, heartier. It might be the right word I'm looking for. So this is a really cool option, and it's down in our carousel, and it comes in these cute little pre-made like squares, and you just drop them in water and it's all portioned out for you, which is perfect. It's actually, I know it seems small, but it's like for literally a bowl of ramen, this is actually quite great. And it comes in, I think it's 12 pieces. No, 24. So 24 pieces of awesome ramen noodles. So I highly recommend it. It's really cool. I really like it. Let's see. I got a secret gift from somebody in the mail. Thank you, Carrie. I found it and I was like, oh, I have to add this to this live stream. So that is the gluten-free cake cookbook. Yes, it was, Carrie. So I got this gluten-free cake cookbook. This is actually new, I'm pretty sure. So there's 50 classic and creative favorites to celebrate any occasion. I'm starting to really enjoy baking cake. There was a particular cookbook, and I'm not going to mention which one, and it was talking about how it's the greatest gluten-free cookbook in the entire world. I made like 4 different cakes from it, and they all were so bad. So I have been really trying to find great cookbooks for gluten-free baking. This is the first time I'm looking at this just because I got it in the mail literally not that long ago, like 2 days ago. So here we go. It's a really small cookbook. I like that. It's manageable. And the pictures are great. Let's see. Carrie's so sweet. She said it's fun to spam me with Amazon stuff. I appreciate it. It's very nice. Thank you. So we start off with the first chapter here, gluten-free cake basics, which is really, perfect because then you might not even need the cookbook anymore. We also have snacking cakes, which I think a lot of people are kind of into, are snacking cakes. What would you use snacking cakes for? I'm curious. If you guys have any ideas, definitely comment down below because I'm curious. I want to try to create some snacking cake themes this year. I think it'd be fun. So we also have layer cakes, obviously, but they're more involved. We have chapter 4 is Bundt and Angel food cakes. I have literally never seen an angel food cake recipe in any cookbook. And they have a whole chapter. I'm so excited. Okay. They also have cupcakes and mini cakes, again, for the snacking cakes. Carrie says for snacking cakes, tea parties are a great option. And I agree. I think that's super fun. You can make 3 different cakes and cut them up into small pieces so people can eat them. I'm just trying to figure out what the difference between a snacking cake is and a regular single tier cake, what's the difference? So, and then she also says, when my neighbor drops in uninvited on a work day, I give up and chat with him. You can literally offer them a snack cake and send them on their way. That's a good idea too. That would be a great idea. So let's I noticed that this cookbook isn't super photo heavy, which is fine because we all know what a carrot cake looks like, a chocolate cake, but they do have really awesome, when they do have a photo, it is still very pretty. Oh, and they do my favorite thing. So I love it when people have photos in their cookbook and then they name what that is and they include the page number so that you are enticed by said photo and go and want to make the cake. Of course, you should do that. Everybody should do that. So here's some examples for some snacking cakes. Choosing Happy is here. Hello. So some snacking cakes include loaves. This is a lemon poppy seed loaf. And I'm so sorry there's no photos, but they do provide here variations for the loaf. They have, pretty straightforward ingredients and directions. It's pretty easy. And they even have time for bake time, prep time, how much it makes. So pretty awesome. We have a double chocolate zucchini bread. I'm wondering if snacking cakes are kind of like loaves. But aren't those just loaves? Here's a chocolate chip banana bread. I probably need to make some of this actually this weekend. Here's another photo for layer cakes, which I'm really excited about. This is beautiful. I love the flowers. So pretty. This is a hummingbird cake. I should have known. That's so cool. Let's see if we have some extra photos. It looks like there's maybe one photo per chapter, and then there's also a photo for the beginning of each chapter. So Carrie says, I think snacking cakes are square. Loaves are slice shaped. Okay. That's interesting because all of the loaves in here are in snacking cakes. So I would love to know what a snacking cake is versus a loaf versus a single tier cake. I never really thought about it until now that we're talking about it. So yeah, okay. I got distracted. The philosophy behind a snacking cake. Ugh, it's the small things, right? Okay. So we have a carrot cake here, again a classic, but this looks really good. It looks really moist, and of course the frosting looks super tasty. We have here, ooh, oh my gosh. These are so cute. I love it. The strawberries look like little hearts. So these are very strawberry cupcakes. I don't think I've ever actually had a strawberry cupcake in my entire life, but I love how they look. I'm sure they taste delicious. So this is the chapter for mini cakes and cupcakes. So this is a pumpkin spice little mini cake. So it's almost like a tiny little bundt cake. That's really cute. I like that a lot. That'd be great for fall. Summer hasn't even happened, and I'm kind of excited for fall again, but I'm excited for summer. It's just silly. This is a cool cookbook. I think it's really nice because it would be a great beginner baker cookbook. We have different measurements and conversions for different dry ingredients, liquid, obviously. And I'm trying to see if they have kind of your definitions. They have resources too. Amazon is one of those things for gluten-free flour specifically, which is great. Let's see. I'm trying to see if they have different, they do have their own gluten-free flour blend. So in the very beginning here, which I totally missed because I got excited about photos, they do talk about the different gluten-free flours you can use and what you're going to get from it. So like brown rice flour is milled from whole grain rice, so it's high in fiber, protein, fat, and other nutrients. So it's probably super hefty. That's why those ramen noodles were made from brown rice. And then we also have white rice flour, which is just a different texture. It provides different nutritional value. They talk about starches. They do talk about if you did want to go gluten-free or dairy-free as well, using aquafaba, coconut cream and coconut milk, nut milk, all that stuff. So this is a really awesome beginner, I would say, bake book for gluten-free. Yeah, this is cute. I wish there was more photos, but it's really cute. I like it. Thank you, Carrie. The next thing I want to talk about, and actually Carrie pointed this out to me. I did not know this was a thing. I'm learning so much about gluten-free stuff, even after being gluten-free for such a long time. Carrie says, baby shower. I'm assuming that was the strawberry cupcakes. Yes, that would be awesome. And I think the Halloween party little tiny bundt cakes are really cute. You could put like little tiny spiders on them or something, or like a little web of cream cheese frosting. That'd be super cute. Now I want to bake. Oh, and now I'm going to show you guys cupcakes. Oh, God, I'm surrounded by sweets. It's a little much. These are awesome. I actually just did a video about these specifically that I'll post later on Amazon. But these are lemon-filled creamy cupcakes that got delivered. And you actually have to freeze them. So it recommends when you get it out of the box, you have to freeze them. Sorry, Carrie, I'm torturing myself. I mean, I have literally a cookie just sitting right there, that lemon cookie. Ugh. So these cupcakes are cool because when I did taste one, which you can find on Amazon later, I'll post it later. But it's not, some like, especially not cream filled, but like fruit filled donuts, jam filled donuts, or really any dessert that's got that jam filling. It's like too much. It's almost like that gelatinous, texture. And it's not my favorite. But these were, they had the perfect amount. They had the perfect amount of lemon. The curd was perfect. And then the small amount of frosting on the top. It wasn't overwhelming. It was it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised. Apparently, they have more than just lemon filled too. I think I saw chocolate and some berry filled stuff, but this is really like surprisingly awesome. And you just throw them in your freezer when you're ready to eat. You can either thaw them on your counter, or for like, it says to leave it out for 2 hours and let it thaw. Or you can throw it in your microwave for like 10 seconds, which I did. And it was perfect. I was like, awesome. It didn't make it all soggy or anything. It was awesome. So I recommend these. These would be fun to have out for, again, parties. It's super easy to just grab these and set them out and people will enjoy them. And I love that you can buy stuff that is like gluten-free now and not worry that the flavor is going to be bad. That's why I used to make everything. So now that I know I can actually buy this without going out of my way and dirtying up my kitchen, I like this. So yeah, check these out. These are really cool. I'm going to try to find the other flavors and try those on Amazon too. So let's move on. I have another cookbook. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick drink of water because I'm dying. I'm sorry. It's the allergies. So, and also all the sweets. I'm like, oh, all right. So I got this one from the library. It's called the GlutenFree Cookbook, and it got pushed out a lot, actually. And I believe it just came out this year, like early this year. And I was not sure about it initially, just like the cover and whatnot, honestly. And then I looked inside and I was just kind of floored. It's pretty big. We have, it's by, so the author here is Christian Broglia. And these are basically, I'm trying to remember, 350. And it's all, he's presenting basically gluten-free dishes that are just naturally gluten-free all around the world too. It's not focused on any one area. And you don't have to like nitpick and find all these fancy ingredients. It's all naturally gluten-free stuff that you can make at home, which was really clever. And it's international, so that's awesome. So we have the pretty standard chapters: breakfast, lunch, soup, salads, all that stuff. But it's a lot of recipes, as you can see. And it looks kind of textbooky to me, but there are so many photos. So shakshuka is naturally gluten-free. You don't need to have like, bread to dip in, or you can use that awesome Franz bread that I put down in the carousel. That actually works. You grill it up and it's perfect. I do it all the time. So they have, I believe, a photo for almost everything in here. Tofu omelets, grilled plantain with palm sugar sauce. So the really cool thing that I like, because I'm a culture nerd. I was an anthropology major, so I can't help myself. So what I really like here is there's tiny symbols here that all mean something, like if it's nut-free, dairy-free, all of that stuff. So you get to see that right up front. Also, here in the other corner is where the recipe originates from. So this recipe is actually from Indonesia. I would have not guessed that. I probably would have said like the Philippines, honestly. So in a lot of these recipes, they don't require a lot of ingredients. They're not crazy far out. You can probably find them at your local grocery store. Carrie says, I usually need bread or cheese or yogurt to temp down the spice of shakshuka. Yeah, I could. Yes, definitely. I've made some spicy shakshuka before. Palm sugar sauce. Never heard of that. Yeah, I know. It sounds really good. Lots of coconut milk in this recipe. So we also have vegetable pakoras with mango chutney. And I have not been able to make my own mango chutney, so I'm really excited to figure that out. This is a little more involved, but a lot of the recipes don't have that much involvement like that one. We have, what is this? Spicy rice vermicelli noodle soup. Oh, I'm so jealous. Lunch is coming up. I'm so excited. Apparently, this recipe is from Laos. Very awesome. Here we have a tortilla soup. from Mexico. Carrie was saying that she just had tortilla soup for the first time not that long ago, which is crazy. I love tortilla soup. Oh my God. I'm addicted to all Mexican food, to be honest. Brazilian cheese bread. So we can learn how to make our own different kinds of bread. Yes, there's naturally gluten-free bread out there. Who would have thought? And this is one of them. We have different kinds of cornbread. So they even have Turkish cornbread. I'm trying to think of like what makes it Turkish. Oh, it looks like they add Greek yogurt to theirs. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, it's really simple, actually. Here we have an egg-topped buckwheat galette with ham and cheese. So it's not just like, I like this cookbook because they provide recipes that I'm actually surprised are naturally gluten-free and they don't require crazy ingredients. So like this, for instance, it requires 1 tablespoon of buckwheat flour, white vinegar, milk, ham, Gruyere cheese, and black pepper. And that's it. Super simple. And it's gluten-free. It's crazy. I know. I don't know why it's not lunchtime. We always do this around lunchtime and it's like so evil. It's evil, you guys. Okay, so yellow curry with tofu and mushrooms. This is from Thailand. So I mentioned some of those curry pastes that are from Mayploy here. This is the perfect time to use it. I'm wondering if they provide their own recipe. No, they don't provide their own recipe for the actual curry paste, but I recommend this curry paste. This is down in our carousel down below for you Amazon live people. I love Mayploy, and there's so many things you can do with it, including soup, which I did that for the first time. I just whipped up my own red curry soup. I just threw whatever I wanted in there, and it was pretty bomb. And I did it with those rice ramen noodles. I just remembered that. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Let's see. We have for those. Oh wow. This is a grilled pike. This is from South Africa. I love the colors. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's really beautiful. I could probably go through this cookbook all day. It's huge. I mean, like it's massive. And I love all of the different dishes they incorporate in here and they're all kind of dishes that are fairly popular in those areas. So we get a little glimpse of international cuisine, and it's all naturally gluten-free, and it's really simple. Like a lot of these things are just easy to whip up. It's not overly complicated. So I actually recommend it. I overlook this book often. I'm not going to lie, but it's actually become one of my favorites. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. So check this out. This is by Phaidon. The actual author is Christian Broglia. Let's see what we've got going on here. Is that all I put on my list? Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. We have 7 minutes left. I don't know if I can add any more things, but if you guys have any questions about gluten-free cooking or my experiences with gluten-free or why I did gluten-free, I'm more than happy to answer those. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Really love that you guys are enjoying this. But yeah, let me know what your guys' gluten-free experiences have been. What are some things in your pantry? I'd love to hear that because I like I said before with some of these things, like Carrie's not even gluten-free, and she's brought to my attention like, you know, these like the Stonewall stuff and these pre-made, you know, cupcakes and whatnot. I had no idea about these, and I'm still learning. So yeah, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you guys are like. What do you guys eat? What do you guys prepare with? And is there anything you'd like me to showcase next time? Do you guys enjoy gluten-free pantry talk? It's a lot of stuff. So I guess let me see if I can find anything that maybe we can go over. I do know I didn't put this technically. I didn't put these 2 cookbooks in the carousel down below, but I know you can find, I believe you can find this one on our store front on Amazon Live. At least you can find the Thai one, but I will shortly be using, I will be posting another video on Amazon Live about this one. I talk about Jet Tila all the time. It's kind of embarrassing because I love him so much. It's not a gluten-free cookbook. And there's another cookbook I got too that a lot of their recipes are naturally gluten-free, is Eat Habibi Eat. So this is great because not Middle Eastern, but yeah, Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cooking typically are gluten-free naturally. And this has been an amazing cookbook to look through. This cookbook is my favorite cookbook because it's gold. So I'm going to just review it, and I'm sorry, it's not clean because I use it so much. But here we go. We have Rock the Wok, so all the stir fry stuff. We've got meat and grilling, noodle dishes, and it's all Asian food. I'm an Asian food lover. Actually, I just like all food. It's so hard to pick one thing. But with Asian food, the one thing that I've noticed that is kind of the problem child is soy sauce. So again, if you wanted to check down below on our carousel, you can. Kikkoman does a great soy sauce. There's a lot of awesome tamari, or you can use the coconut aminos. That's another great option too. And you can find all of that on Amazon. So I've cooked so many things out of this cookbook. So like Mongolian beef, I've cooked out of here, and it's so easy, super just straightforward, wonderful cookbook. We also have here's a dish. There's also Szechuan beef, which I've cooked. A lot of these recipes have photos, which is really helpful. This is a dish I cook often, and it's the Korean japchae. It's awesome. I usually actually eat it with tofu, and you can do the same thing. It's really easy to kind of substitute things out, and Jet Tila does a great job kind of allowing that. He's not, some cookbooks I feel like you can be really strict, or at least the author is like, no, you must use chicken thighs with skin and bone and nothing else. I really like Jet Tila because a lot of his recipes you can switch, alternate, kind of do what you want. So that's really nice. We have here, this is a dish that I usually make if it's a super special occasion because it's involved, but it's super tasty and I really, really dig it. And I try to make little offshoots of this dish often. We have here, there's like salads, we have like a spicy tuna roll. So a lot of his recipes encompass, everywhere in Asia. It's really great. Any popular Asian dish you're going to find in this awesome cookbook. So make sure to check this out. I will post a video pretty soon on our Amazon shop with this cookbook on there because it's seriously like one of my favorites. I love it. The other cookbook I will just briefly talk about since it's here. It's not in my carousel, so I apologize. It's Eat Habibi Eat. It's beautiful. Like the design is beautiful. But it's a contemporary view, or it's a contemporary approach to Egyptian cuisine. I don't think I've ever had strictly Egyptian cuisine, but a lot of this is just really beautiful and really, it looks tasty. So we have like Mom's holiday cumin eggs. I love this idea. Instead of just the traditional like deviled eggs, these like look like they have way more flavor. We have Mom's red lentil soup. I didn't mean to turn to every mom page. We also have here, what is a fasolia? There are some ingredients that I've noticed in this cookbook that are a little beyond me. I've never cooked or seen the ingredients, so I do know I'm going to be utilizing Amazon quite a bit for that. So there's a few things that I'm going to probably cook out of here, and you can find me doing that on other places. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We have here, ooh, anything with potatoes is great. It's a fingerling potato salad with beluga lentils. I've never had a beluga lentil and labneh. So that looks really good. What else do we got? There's really cool baked goods here. This is a strawberry pasta flora, but this was one that I really was curious about. It looks like a folded dough. It's a cast iron fatir with wildflower honey and cinnamon. It sounds so good, but it's really involved. Like there's a lot of stuff going on there. So you can find me going through more of these cookbooks and showcasing how I cook these recipes and the ingredients I use over on some of our places. So stay tuned for that. But I think we are finished with all of the pantry items that I have collected for today. Trust me, I have a whole bunch more. If I could, I would bring you with me to my actual pantry, but it's messy and embarrassing, so I'm not going to do that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this live stream. It was my first one by myself, so I appreciate your patience. If you're still here, thank you so much. Make sure to stay tuned for all of our other live streams. Carrie's been so awesome and has been doing all kinds of stuff over there. Like whatever she's doing, it's been amazing. So stay tuned. We do live stream a lot. So yeah, thank you guys again. And maybe I'll live stream another pantry thing soon. Let me know what you think, but visit our store and yeah, talk to you